Hey all you glamorous people. So tonight I'm going to be filming a different type of tutorial, and I'm going to be discussing brushes, and it's going to be a two-part video installment. And the first one is going to be discussing type of makeup brushes and what they're used for, and the ones that I like and substitutes for, pricier brushes. And the second one is going to be about how to maintain those brushes, how to take care of them and keep their bristles nice and clean and keep them bacteria free. So I hope you enjoy and stay tuned to keep watching. So this is my tool belt, and it's a NYX tool belt, and I have lots of great brushes here that I really love. And my usual favorite is the MAC 187 brush, which is a great stippling brush for foundation, and it has both synthetic and natural hairs. And it's great for applying foundation and possibly brush. They have a smaller version for blush, and you can apply bronze, and it kind of controls the amount that you're putting on, and it doesn't allow you to put on things too heavily, and you just tap that. And Sigma makes a great alternative, which is a bit cheaper, and it's their Duo Fiber F50. Also both synthetic and natural goat hair. And as of right now, I actually have a brand new favorite, and it's a synthetic brush by Sigma, and it's really a great buffing brush for foundation, and it's the flat top synthetic Kabuki F80. And even though it's synthetic, it's so super soft, and it's really easy to maintain, and it's great for foundation. You just dip that on and you just kind of buff it in. So that's my favorite brushes for foundation. Now for concealer, people use different methods. I mean, for under eye concealing and small spots on your face, I really like for under eye the Laura Mercier concealer brush, and that's natural fiber. And it's a pretty large brush, so you wouldn't use that for larger imperfections. Then I have the concealer brush. It's an F70 by Sigma, and it's a smaller brush, and this you can go into also the under eye areas, and it's really also great for blemishes and pock marks, and you kind of just dab on that concealer. Revlon makes actually a couple of great brushes. If you're not looking to spend way too much money and you're looking for something that will last you for some time, Revlon makes some great concealer brushes. They're part of the Pro line, they're not numbered, but this is a great flat concealer brush. Now, next, what's really important is having a good blush brush. And there are two schools of thought. Some people like to use, big bushy brushes, but I don't really quite believe in that, because that area on your cheek is pretty small, so why would you use such a huge brush? So the brush that I like to use for blushing is generally the MAC 113, and I believe it's synthetic, but it's very soft and it's perfectly sized for that area. Also, I like to use sometimes very small brushes for my blush, because I think that you can control it better and you can buff it better and you can add more, as opposed to having a big blob of powder on your face. And this is the tapered blending brush by Sigma. It's an E40, and it's really great. I'm fairly certain it's natural hair fiber just by feeling it. I might be wrong, but now let's talk about big powder brushes. And a great one is also by Sigma. It's the large powder brush, and it's really huge and soft. It's the F30. And this, when you have, let's say, loose powder that you want to apply to your face, and you just dab that in and just kind of circular light motions, and it's very good with granulate. I have a great Kabuki brush that I'd like to share with you guys, and that's for applying bronzers and blending as well. It's really great for blending, and it's a Kabuki brush by Coastal Scents. It doesn't have a number. I believe that this is just one type. Now let's talk about eyeshadow and blending. Now this is a Royal Crown brush. It's kind of a rounded, tapered brush. It's very full and very bristly, and this is great for also applying stuff like cream-based foundations, because it's a bit rougher. And when you're using cream-based, not foundation, eyeshadows, you want something that's a bit rougher that will grab that product on, because if you're using something that's soft bristled, it's not going to really adhere to the bristle. Now, as for eyeliner, I like to use liquid gel or soft pancake that you can wet and create a line with. And this is a really fantastic brush, and I really haven't found anything that's surpassed my expectations when it comes to an eyeliner brush. And this is the E05 Sigma eyeliner. And you can see how it's really fine at the tip, and you can control the thickness of the line that you're creating. Now, another great liner brush is made by Graftilbian, which is a really great professional cosmetics makeup brand, and it's the number 8. And it really looks like, I used to paint, so this really looks like to me like a great painting brush. And it's very, very soft, it's natural fiber, and it's great for also applying those lines, and it's also very good for smudging out, like, let's say the bottom of the eye. Like if you want to apply like a line and you don't want it to be too harsh, it's great for that. Another great pencil brush, well, it's not a liner brush, it's a pencil brush, but I use it for different things, is the E30 by Sigma. And this is great for, let's say, you want to get something in the corner of the eye, like a darker color, and you want to just pack that color in. This is great for that. Overall, for eyeshadow, you know, this takes the cake for me. It's the E25 Sigma blending brush, and it's so soft and it's so versatile. You can use it pretty much for both dry shadows and creamy base shadows, because it's just great for applying it to the entire lid. Just very versatile brush. Now, something I forgot before is how we contour our face, and where, you know, you need a brush that's kind of conformed to this area and those areas, and that'll work well with contouring your face. And MAC has a great brush. It's 168, and you can see the way that it's curved. It's very good for getting into, you know, those little areas. And Sigma has a great alternative as well. It's called the Large Angled Contour. It's the F40. Another great alternative, although this is by the Cow, and this is just a fan brush. On occasion I'll use it to contour, but I also predominantly use this for, let's say, if I have fall off from eyeshadow, I'll just swoop it off, and it's a great tool to clean. A lot of people use this for applying bronzer and stuff like that, but I generally don't use that for that. Now, as for when you're shading your eyes, when you want to get like a nice smoky cat eye, and you need something that's kind of controlled at the tip. So this is a great brush by Sigma. It's called the Eye Shading Brush. It's the E55. And you could see how it's not so wide and bushy. You could see it has more of a narrow tip, even though it's wide. So that's how you can kind of manipulate those strokes, and then you can drag them across. Another staple that I really use a lot in my repertoire is I use a palette and a palette knife. And what that's for is when you're using foundation, you don't want to constantly be opening that bottle or your cream foundation and dipping your fingers or dipping your product in there and spreading bacteria in there. So this is what this is great for. You kind of scoop it out, put it on your palette brush. You could also mix over here. You know, you just dab it on, and then you could, you know, use your brushes to dip in there, and that way you're not transferring bacteria back and forth. So I hope you enjoyed that segment of my tool belt, and I hope you stay tuned to find out about how to take care of your brushes. So stay tuned and stay glamorous. www.glamourbyerica.com